Okay, good morning. It's 8:30. I'm going to call this meeting of the Land, Water, and Forest Resource Committee to order. Roll call. Kay Wilson. Here. Steve Karianen. Here. Randy Newman. Here. Steve Longtine. Here. Marshall Savitsky. Here. Allison John Jack. Absent. Okay, you have a quorum. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let the record show this meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by Section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes. And this morning we have elections of chair and vice chair. I will now open the floor for nominations for the position of chair of the Land, Water, and Forest Resource Committee. A person receiving a majority vote of members entitled to a seat shall be declared elected. This vote shall take place by secret ballot. If no majority is reached, balloting shall continue, including all nominees, until a majority is reached. Once the candidates have been nominated, they will be afforded the opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. At this time, I will open the floor for nominations for the position of chair. Do I have any nominations?
I'll nominate Steve Karianen.
Okay, are there any other nominations for chair? Okay, Mr. Karianen or anyone else, would you like to speak?
Well, I would be honored to serve again. Thank you.
Okay, hearing no other nominations, you may now proceed to vote. Okay, the vote was unanimous for Steve Karianen. Steve Karianen is chair of Land and Water Committee. Okay, we will now open the floor for nominations for the position of vice chair of Land and Water. Do I have any nominations for vice chair?
Yes, I would like to nominate Mr. Randy Newman for vice chair.
Okay, we have a nomination for Randy Newman for vice chair. Are there any other nominations at this time? Okay, hearing none, Mr. Newman, would you like to speak to the committee, or would any other members have a comment to make?
I'm good.
No? Okay, you may proceed to vote. Okay, the vote was unanimous for Randy Newman for Vice Chair of Land and Water, and I will now turn the meeting over to Chairman Steve Karianen.
Thank you. We will note that the meeting agenda has been set, and at this time, we'll open it up to public comments. And we have Linda Zilmer.
Good morning, Linda Zilmer, fourth generation property owner in the town of Edgewater, property on Lake Chautauqua, which is the headwaters of the Red Cedar watershed that goes all the way down to Menominee. Goes through primarily the southern part of Sawyer County through Barron County down into probably Chippewa and maybe Dunn and Eau Claire. Before I talk to what Steve Sorensen told the full county board about roles and responsibilities and authorities and duties, I wanted to introduce some of the new members or member to something that a previous Land, Water, and Forest Resource Committee did in November of 2023. Ed Peters served on this board. Ed Peters was representing the district that included the town of Draper. And there was a resolution that this committee passed and ultimately the full county board adopted to support statewide legislation to regulate wake surfing or enhanced wake operation on Wisconsin lakes. And some of the specifics in that resolution were 700 feet from shore and 30 feet in a minimum of 30 feet depth, so not in less than 30 feet deep water, and to maintain local government's ability to enact ordinances that would be more restrictive than any state regulation. In this previous session, a couple of bills were introduced. One was AB 1033. AB 1033. It was introduced on like February 9th, and the public hearing was held on February 11th, so there wasn't much chance for the public to become involved. But if you look at the testimony for that, there was overwhelming opposition to AB 1033. Another bill was introduced. It was a Senate bill, 1024, and that one was better, but it really does not meet the needs of protecting our lakes. Neither bills made it all the way through the legislature for consideration by the governor. That issue is something that the Sawyer County Lakes Forum has been watching, as groups around the state have. And I wanted to bring up something, and I hope you would extend me a minute or two longer than the 3 minutes, that Barron County's exec committee on May 6th approved bringing forward a resolution intended to go to the full Wisconsin Counties Association in support of AB 1033. Now, nobody really supports that. Pat Brown, who used to work in the Sawyer County Conservation Department, moved to Barron County to become, I believe his title is Lake Technician. And the resolution says that he is bringing this forward and that their county administrator contacted the Wisconsin Counties Association, and the Counties Association is in favor of that bill. And so hopefully Barron County supervisors will hear a lot of opposition to that, and when they have their county board meeting on May 18th, they will not approve it and will not recommend that the Wisconsin Counties Association take it up. So I don't know if any of you have heard this information. I know a number of towns in Washburn County have adopted their own local ordinance, Town of Hayward, Town of Bass Lake, maybe Town of Hunter. I'm not sure who the others are. So I know some of you who also are aware of your town efforts know that this is an issue, and town ordinances are more protective than what's in Senate Bill 1024. So then briefly to wrap up, this committee's got a lot of responsibilities, and Steve Sorensen talked that a lot of the day-to-day administration and making sure that your policy is carried out is done through your county administrator. And so I would like to repeat a request that I had made previously, that this committee receives regular reports on what the activities are with regard to the Land and Water Resource Management Plan that was adopted, the groundwater study that the county committed to, what is happening with non-metallic mining. So within the last 10 years, there were 2 times that the county has failed to stay on top of the conditional use permits for non-metallic mining. And finally, we have 2 CAFOs that are in Sawyer County, and neither one of them have been in compliance. One of them, it's been over 10 years. And after the March zoning committee hearing, I drove past one where there was land applying when there had been snow cover and rain was in the forecast, and they're applying right up to creek beds. So there's a lot of issues out there. I don't see that this committee, that it's brought to your attention. And so I guess I would now ask that the administrator find some way that you get those reports so that you know your policy is being carried out. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone online today? Very good. At this time, we will consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Newman and a second by Mr. Savitsky to approve the meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion approved. Events and possible discussion and action. Do we have any events?
No applications this month.
Nothing at all. Okay, thank you, Greg. Register of Deeds report.
Okay, so what we have here is our total report from March, April, and the first quarter. Our recorded documents were up quite a bit from last year, which is wonderful. And then, as you can see, our transfer fees on the second block, we were up quite a bit in April, $80,000 versus last year was only $48,000. And then kind of our Laredo and Tapestry were similar, up a little bit or minus a little bit. And then vital records, our birth records have been quite a bit more due to the Real ID, people coming in to still get those. And deaths were down, which is always good. My deputy has been gone now for 4 weeks, so we did an interview this week and hoping to hire someone soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, if not, we will move on to the land records and county surveyor reports. Real property lister report. I guess we all have that in our packet. And we have the county surveyor report in our packet as well. Looks like the surveyors have been busy. Noting that, we'll move on to the forestry side of things, the county forestry report.
Okay, for the month of April, we did have 4 sales listed as active. Getting to be a slow start with oak wilt restrictions and everything like that. We did have 3 sales closed out. Our timber sale value sold and uncut on file with the inclusion of the spring timber sale bid approval. The next item would be just over $5.3 million. We did have revenue of just under $100,000 for April. Year to date, we're at $800,000. We do have a pretty decent chunk billed out as well. We have the sale volumes harvested on there. Sale inspections are on target for the level of activity. We did have a few tracks turned in for review. Still working away on the Good Neighbor Authority contract for this year. As I mentioned earlier, we're still in the oak wilt restriction, so we shouldn't see a whole lot of spike in activity until July. Mountain bike trails opened on May 1st. ATV, UTV trails, we did open those trails on April 24th. And we have this is the list of grants that we applied for the April 15th deadline. So we have our normal maintenance for snowmobile, ATV, UTV, and winter ATV. We did apply for 3 sections of new ATV, UTV miles. A couple of these were it's our second go trying to get funding for these. And then we do have 6 rehab projects that we applied for the deadline. So we should hear of these July. They usually have the ORV council meeting to see if we're approved there. Nothing new on parks. Carbon credit, working through harvest verification for 2 reporting periods. So this is a bit of a data load to put out for the carbon people. And as we mentioned previously, our project has been issued. There's no other further info on that as we sit today. Additionally, I did attend Forest Stewardship Council workshop April 1st in Merrill. Our forest certification standard, the FSC, is is unveiling a new standard. So we had a workshop to go through some of the changes that we're anticipating. The audit for this summer for the county forest program, the field audit, so they're gonna have to deal with some of the new issues on that audit. We're not on the field audit this year, but it still impacts our program. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I don't have any other information, if there's any questions.
I guess I would ask what sort of impacts from the FSC standard changes do you see for your team?
Well, it's always additional documentation and paperwork, so there's a couple of new issues that they're looking at. So FSC is probably our more difficult certification standard to adhere to with some of their requirements. They delve into a lot of social issues and things like that. So we'll see once everything gets published here and how the audits work out. Like I said, basically most of these things we're already doing it. It's just a matter of how we package it and document it and turn it into the auditors. So.
Mm-hmm. Anything related to spongy moth these days affecting?
Well, I just saw that we hit the quarantine.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't anticipate a huge impact. To be honest, we haven't really been paying that much attention to spongy moth here. I'm surprised we hit the threshold because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of it here. I mean, we don't observe many egg masses or actual caterpillars out there very often. So with our climate here, I know Bayfield has a lot, but the theory is that being just a little bit warmer close to the lake in the winter seems to keep their populations high, and we have cold enough winters that seem to zap those larvae. So. Mm-hmm. I guess we'll see what kind of, the only impact would be some shipping of products, but I think most of the northwest corner of the state is already quarantined, so I don't really see a huge impact with it, but.
Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Randy, may I ask a question about the new ATV trail on number 977 to Bethel Road? That goes through Select Materials. I was wondering what you're going to do there.
Well, I'm gonna let Tim answer this one if I could. Tim's been kind of working on that particular project.
I headed up, Tim Davison here. I headed up that project last year, and it was created to get a north-south corridor going between the north and the south portions of the county. We have two other entry points. One is in the city of Hayward on Chippewa Trail, and that goes north-northwest. And we have one on the eastern side over in Moose Lake, and that is only temporary because we're not allowed to ride on portions of the federal forest in Spider Lake Township during certain times of the year. So we're closed off most of the time. We're only open from May until October on the Moose Lake side. So that's why we created a north-south to go through Bethel, through a small portion of Select Industries, very, very small portion. And then Jeff Grushel owns the majority of the land. And I work directly with Jeff and then with Daryl from Select Trucking on that. And we did apply for ATV miles on that for this coming year, and we'll know in July if we get those miles. We do not plan to use that trail in the heart of the winter because it does confuse snowmobilers thinking they can go on that, and we don't want that. It's strictly ATV.
I was just curious if you were expanding that trail.
No, it's just a small little portion of north-south corridor. Yep, thank you.
Okay. We will move on to the spring timber sale bid approval.
Okay, we did have our spring timber sale bid opening on May 5th. We did receive acceptable bids on 21 out of 22 tracks, so that's good news. As far as the bidders, all of the high bidders are contractors that we've worked with in the past with no issues, so I would recommend approval of that. But the summary sheet, I guess, we always pay attention to a couple of our key products on there, aspen being the big one and the mixed hardwood pulp. So aspen is back up to $50.46 per cord on the weighted average of winning bids. So that was a nice surprise. So we're back, we're the highest aspen price we've had since April of '24. So that was good to see. There was a lot of market uncertainty with aspen, with some of the issues with LP being closed and not taking wood. Mixed hardwood pulp stayed steady. The rest of the pulp products, we didn't really have enough volume to really have an accurate number that means something. But as far as logs, the log prices went up on both oak and mixed hardwood. So all in all, it was a really good bid opening for us. We had 1.35 million in total sold value. So we're pretty pleased with this opening given the market.
Yes, yes, for sure. Well done. I'm just amazed at how well we're doing because compared to some of the other counties, the batting average is way up there.
Right, yep. So like I said, we got great staff with great sales, DNR input. I mean, we're putting out some quality products that the contractors seem to like. So, yeah.
Okay. Next item is a low-use access. Oh, we have to, I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself.
I make a motion, we accept the bid results for the 26 spring Sawyer County timber sale bid.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Newman and a second by Mr. Savitsky to accept the winning timber sale bids. All in favor? Aye, please. Aye, thank you. So moved. And now we move on to low-use access permit approval for Todd Gould.
Yep, so we have these from time to time. We did have a request from Todd Gould to access 40 that he recently purchased. This is up off of Sealy Fire Tower. I do have a mistake on my application. I have the northeast of the northeast listed. It's supposed to be the southwest of the northeast. We originally looked at a different access through the northeast that would come off of what we call Camp 38 Road to the north of his parcel. Camp 38 Road is also a snowmobile ATV trail. And working with Todd, I explained that, you would have some plowing restrictions during the winter time due to the snowmobile trail. And so he requested a different access off of the Forest Road 452, which comes in on the west side of his property. It's all existing road up till there's about 200 feet from the end of our woods road. That's basically a major skid trail that connects into his property. So he would have a little bit of new construction on a trail to get into his parcel. I reviewed it and worked with Todd on this, and I think it's a workable access point for him.
Is this, this is not unique. You do this in other cases?
Yeah, we've probably, I would say we have like 30 of these across the county. So they come up, especially in instances like this where he's completely landlocked. So it's not an easement. It's a 5-year access permit. So there's no easement here, and it's just an agreement to access the property through a county forest road.
All right. Any questions on this?
Is that just for hunting or is it gonna be
I'm assuming he's probably gonna have a cabin in there of some sort. So at this point, there's no structure in there. But, so the low-use access is supposed to be kind of a, an intermittent use for, at most, a hunting cabin. It's not designed for like a residential access.
All right. What's your pleasure, committee?
Greg, I was curious about the width of the road shall remain less than 16 feet. Is that adequate for emergency vehicles? Fire department and whatever?
I would think so. Yeah, so basically 16 feet, so they would have at least a 10 to 12-foot drivable surface with a little bit of ditching, so it should be adequate.
Is it your recommendation that we approve this?
Yes.
I'd make a motion to approve this permit.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Savitsky and a second by Ms. Wilson to approve. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Move on to the Wisconsin DNR report.
Yeah, so in the month of April, activity on the Sawyer County Forest was a little bit of sale preparation as well as prescribed burning. We accomplished 3 prescribed burns on the county forest within the past month, as well as a couple of other prescribed burns across the county on state property. So that's where we've been focused lately. Looking forward for the next few days, we're relatively high fire danger with high winds, low humidities, and then pine fuel moistures are low. That affects mostly our neighbors to the north and west, and Douglas, Bayfield, and Washburn County. But we folks here are able to assist with fires in that location should something happen. So my recommendation to local folks right now is keep an eye on burn permits. Today, for example, all burn permits are suspended, so any debris burning is not allowed. But other than that, chipping away at sale preparation on the county and state property, and that's our plan going forward.
Okay, thank you. U.S. Forest Service report. I don't think we have anyone here today, so we'll move on to recreational trails report. Mr. Davison.
Good morning again, Tim Davison. Wrong password. No, I'm just kidding. Trails are all open in Sawyer County right now and are in very good shape. There was some confusion on opening the trails this spring. Sawyer County Snowmobile Alliance works directly with forestry on trying to get the trails open as soon as we can after the mud season. We're trying to work with the DNR and the federal forest to get a more uniform opening so it's not confusing to the ATVer that they can't go on this trail here until May 1st and they can't go on this trail until May 15th. Right now, currently, we opened on, I believe, the 25th or something like that of April, and the federal forest opened on the 1st of May, and the state forest opens on the 15th of May. So it's very confusing, and it's hard to get some local festivals going early in the spring to attract UTVers. So we're working on getting that in order. The Tuscobia, like I talk every month about the Tuscobia, it's always in need of work. We're working on, we've received some grants to work on replacing some of our old culverts. We've got 90 plus of culverts on the Tuscobia that need attention. We've got them all scored. We went out last fall with forestry and we scored all the culverts on a 1 to 10 basis on how good they are. And so we're starting to replace them on the worst ones first and we'll probably hopefully be able to do that every year if we can continue to get the grants. We've got another grant that we've applied for, and that's for down and leaning tree removal on the Tuscobia. We have a lot of trees that just naturally die or blow down, and they're hazards on the Tuscobia. And we're applying for this grant to get this project moving forward also. When trees go down on the Tuscobia, we get zero notice on it, of course, so someone's got to go out there day or night and remove the tree. And sometimes it just gets off the trail, and we would like to see them 6 to 10 feet completely off the trail. So this will help and aid that, so we can keep that one going along. The routes in the county are going real well. People are using them. They're getting a little more used to them now, especially with these trail closures that we've had. People still can get around the county, and I've noticed quite a few people on weekends here, not as much during the week yet because it's not summer, but when summer approaches, we'll definitely have the people out there. We start our new fiscal year in July, so a lot of our projects are on hold right now, but July 1st, we start new projects for the entire county, and that'll get going pretty soon. We recently put trail counters out, and I have 3 or 4 trail counters out right now, and I'll have a report for you in June on their numbers. I had a preliminary report earlier, the first weekend we were out on that Trail 9 that we were talking about earlier. There was 260 people that drove on that trail in one weekend, which was phenomenal. We had another report over on Trail 15, the Morotech Trail going from Power Sports north to Fire Road 70, Trail 77, and that was a little over 1,500 UTVs in one weekend. So they're out, and that's low numbers for now, but as summer progresses, the numbers will get a lot higher. That's all I have unless anybody has any questions.
Did I notice that trails have been closed because of the high fire danger at times?
Other counties have been doing it. Sawyer County has not. There was a false rumor out there. Someone posted on Facebook that they were closed, and it created quite a stir because as far as I know, the law says the state has to consult with the county first and determine if the trail should be closed or not. So, and forestry never received anything in writing or a call or anything about that. So we republished that and said that it was a false rumor right away.
Fake news.
Yeah, big news. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, we are on to the treasurer's report.
Okay, I'm asking for the committee today to, on March 23rd, we started the bid process. There was 5 parcels that we were out there selling, and we didn't receive any bids except one bid for the parcel here from Ron and Mary Fandry. So it's under the minimum bid requirement, but I'm asking the committee to step forward and we can accept this bid. I'm following the statute 7569, and it states in there that if we bring this and the committee approves us selling this for the minimum bid of $500. Anybody have any questions?
They actually paid taxes on this property for quite a few years.
This is the
correct?
one that, yeah, they paid it started back in 1978 with the original owners. The husband died, and something happened with the certificate of termination. I think it was just overlooked that the second property was not included. So then it was sold twice. The Fandrys were the second ones in line that bought it, and we traced this back to that certificate of termination.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the Flandry bid for the property.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of accepting the bid? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Excellent.
Okay, so item B on there is, again, the March bidding, nobody bid on anything, so I'm asking the committee to approve reducing the opening bids. And you can see on the thing there, I pretty much cut most of them in half. The statute requires me to, or the original bids to be at fair market price. And like I said, I didn't get any bids whatsoever. So this happened last year, and when you reduce the pricing, it kind of opens up the gates and people start bidding.
Your recommendation to us is to
To prove the new opening bids, the lowering of the bids to fair market price. Again, that's stated in that statute 7569, that if we're going to go below the fair market price or appraised value of these properties, then we can approve going lower and trying to sell them that way.
I would make that motion. I would second that.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have a motion by Mr. Savitsky and a second by Mr. Longtine. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. On to the zoning and conservation report.
As part of the conservation report, tree sale finalization was last weekend. This was our 30th annual tree sale event, which is a great opportunity for landowners to purchase bulk trees at a discounted rate. The county does not make money on this sale. We order the larger bulk amounts, and then is a net cost to the county, sell it back to the property owners to get more trees out in the county. Conservation staff has been busy checking for dams and water elevations. This is something that we commonly see every spring, the ebbs and flows of the water cycle. And we have a lot of dams that have a very small min and max. So about a weekly, if not twice a week, we have staff going out and checking water levels to see if they need to open or close additional gates on our 7 owned county dams. They're also doing non-metallic mining inspections. This is an annual process that we do, and we go out and check the gravel pits that we have in the county and make sure they're in compliance with the conditional use permits that have been approved by zoning committee. So this is something that we do take seriously, and it is something that we do, again, every year. We do have quite a few gravel pits in Sawyer County. I believe the last number I'd heard was approximately 67 of them. Now, they range in size and scale. Some may be the size of this room, and they're just used for farm usage, up to ones that might be 15 to 20 acres in size of just the pit floor. But we do go through those inspections. Right now, we are on a biannual cycle where it is difficult to get to all of them every year. So we get to half of them in 1 year and then the other half the next year, and then repeat that cycle. So winter and middle school, high schools did have a competition in the Envirothon. In my report, you can see the teacher and the coach, what they said about their surprise of the team, that they believe the future is strong with Envirothon and the middle school districts. There is an upcoming land conservation committee training here at the courthouse in June. It is immediately following the Land, Water, and Forest Resource Committee. For those new members or even those existing ones that may not know, the Sawyer County Land, Water, Forest Resource Committee also serves as the Wisconsin Land Conservation Committee. And this is a program that's put on by the Land Conservation Committee. It is partaking here at Sawyer County. Last year, I believe, was over in Spooner, and I believe you attended that one, Steve, did you not? Yeah. I did send the email out to the committee members as far as a registration link. Let me know if you need it again. I'll send it back out to you, but that is taking place here in Sawyer County, and it'll be immediately after next month's meeting. So, and then we have Price Dam update. I thought this conversation was going to be doom and gloom, and I need a bunch of money because the Lake Winter Dam is kaput. But ultimately, we had an individual, and it was actually a previous committee member, Dale Magnuson's brother, Neil Magnuson, that had gone out there and had taken a look at the bearing pinch point on the lower hinge of the gate of that dam. It's about the size of a volleyball, and there's no like grease fitting on it. There's no Zerk. There's nothing you can get any kind of grease into this thing. So we never thought that that was the issue. It's a completely sealed bearing. He took that apart and it was seized up. That has been kind of the issue of why this gate has not been able to freely swing. So he was able to repack that. I don't believe he was able to insert any type of Zert fitting into it for grease. But the gate is now functioning. We have 2 functioning gates on Lake Winter. That right there has saved us tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, because we were concerned at one point that the reason the gate isn't opening is because the walls were pinching in. And if the walls are pinching in, that's a whole new replacement of the dam. So we're going to continue to monitor it, make sure that it is, fully functioning. And now that we know that it's that lower hinge point that was the issue, we can certainly keep tabs on it. But it looks at it as the short term that we've dodged a bullet on a major replacement repair project of that dam. So. Last little bit of info I have is we did sign contracts with the State Geological Survey for the groundwater mapping study. Those contracts were signed a couple weeks ago now. They are starting the data entry, so I don't believe they're doing any field work yet. It's more of well mapping, so they're grabbing data from the DNR's website of what they have recorded for well locations. They're grabbing information from the Register of Deeds office with other deed documentation that may have well locations. So they're starting their mapping process. I will give additional updates when I get the updates from them.
So it's going to, that whole inventory accumulation is going to take a period of time, I presume?
Yeah, I believe when we initially talked, it was going to be about a 18-month process.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and they're in week 2 of starting it, so it'll be a while.
It'll be quantity and quality of the well?
Yeah, so they're ultimately trying to determine kind of a groundwater study. Which way is groundwater moving? Where are, and also a location of kind of what they have for records of wells. And once they start their geolocation of the wells, they can get a better understanding of, okay, which way is groundwater moving throughout the county? And then also as to the depth of groundwater in the county. Groundwater is at different zones depending on where you're at in the county. Once we get this data back, my anticipation with this, and this is one of the pitches of why we wanted this, it would help us then develop municipal wellhead protection ordinances. That has been something that an individual of the community has wanted to see for Sawyer County for a while. Ultimately, I thought, this is something that towns can always implement. Towns can always implement their own municipal wellhead protection areas. But with this study and showing us where the groundwater is moving, well, now we can develop specific ordinances to have that additional protection. If there is a municipal wellhead, say in the town of Radisson, and you have a development that's being proposed upstream of that area, such as a commercial operation or industrial operation, we can specifically have ordinances that would prevent those type of uses above that groundwater movement. So it's not contaminating a municipal wellhead source. But to just arbitrarily put a mile buffering around a well point doesn't make any sense if this area would never flow towards it. Does that make sense?
Yes, I guess the other question in my mind is this a one-time thing, or is this going to be an ongoing?
No, this would be a one-time thing as of this point. Like I said, it's an 18-month to 2-year project, but once we have that project done, the project's done at that point. And we had a good window of opportunity because they're currently doing it for LCO right now. So we piggybacked with them and actually saved the county, I believe it was like $15,000, $20,000 because they were already doing some of the geolocation on the reservation.
Very good. Well, that Price Dam fix was,
Yeah, because we were about to pull the trigger on a $38,000 crane operation to go out there and pull a tensioning spring on the gate to see, well, where is it binding, or if the good one has this much tension on it, where's the tension point on the other one? So, yeah, just in that one quick fix, we saved $38,000 by not having to have a crane go out there now, so.
okay, well done.
Jay, may I ask a question?
Sure.
So at the Town of Round Lake annual meeting, there was quite interest in the non-metallic mine inspections. Are those inspection records available online to?
I don't believe they're
look at the
available.
reports?
I don't believe they're available online. I would have you touch base with either Tim Seidel or Natalie Erler. They are the specific individuals that are running those inspection procedures of those non-metallic mining areas. I can get a message out to them to have them contact you about the specifics. Are you looking at a specific site?
The interest was for the mines in the town of Round Lake and their inspection dates and results.
I will see if I can have them
Thanks.
compile that info. Thank you.
Thank you. So on that gear thing, which I know nothing about, is that going to be re-greased and done regularly then, so it doesn't bind?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be. Yeah, we might end up even replacing that part with something that does have basically a grease, do you know what a
Yeah,
Zerk
yeah,
is?
yeah,
Okay, a grease fitting where you can actually get grease
Right.
into it. Right now it was sealed. So every time that either our engineers or other companies had gone out there, they had looked at that and said, oh, that is a sealed fitting. There would be no way that grease can come in or out, water can come in or out. That would never be the issue. Well, apparently that was the issue. If there's like a small hairline area that water or moisture was able to get in there because it was seized up, it was rusted and seized in that bearing area.
So I just wanted to be proactive so it didn't happen again.
Right.
Okay,
Yep,
thanks.
thanks.
All right, thank you, Jake. Moving on to board-appointed committee updates. I don't think we have any, or do we? Nope. Correspondence reports from conferences and meetings. Anybody? Future agenda items. Our next meeting is Wednesday, June 10th at 8:30. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you all.